Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. He's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. What are you and your colleagues hearing about these plots to target the Capitol tomorrow?
Well, there'd been talk about this for some time, Wolf. March the 4th is, I guess, as the historical date when a president was inaugurated generations ago. There's been talk for a long time about militia groups wanting and telling their own people that that would be the day that Donald Trump became president, in fact. So, we've been a little jumpy about that. But and evidently, we were told today that a particular group, we weren't given details, but a particular group may have been contemplating trying to do something. I will tell you, Wolf, though, the Capitol Hill, and it makes me sad to report this, it is still an armed camp. There are very heavily armed, body armored National Guardsmen all over the place. There are still fences. You can't get near the Capitol without an ID. And so, you always take a warning seriously. But unless there is a very substantial, well-trained force on their way to Washington, D.C., they are going to meet security like they never imagined before. Now, we do all need to, we'll be done late tonight, right? So the Congress will be here tonight and tomorrow. And so, it's incumbent, obviously, on all of us to be thoughtful as we move through the city, train stations, airports, that sort of thing.
We're told because of this threat tomorrow, Congressman, that you guys are going to wrap everything up tonight and won't be in session tomorrow out of security concerns. I assume you've been told that.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Now, again, it's not like we will be leaving Washington tonight because we're not likely to get done until fairly late tonight. But obviously, from a security standpoint, it's better to have us, scattering to the four winds as opposed to all concentrated in one building. But honestly, Wolf, I'd go back to what I just said, which is that, unfortunately, the Capitol of the United States remains very much an armed camp. So you always take these sorts of bits of intelligence seriously. You always worry about what might happen when a group of people get frustrated because they can't get near to the Capitol, and do they decide to do something, just over the bridge in Virginia? But the situation here in the Capitol, no militia group is getting close to the place.
Yeah, I walked around the Capitol complex as I often do, but today in those 7-foot fences, the razor wire on top, they're all over the place. You can't get close to it. We learned more, Congressman, today about the timeline of the January 6th Capitol attack, with the head of the D.C. National Guard testifying it took more than 3 hours to deploy the National Guard. How disturbed are you by these details?
It's very disturbing, Wolf. Very disturbing. Look, there's two huge questions about January 6th. One is, how was the Capitol so incredibly unprepared? I will just never forget the images of officers dressed mostly in their street clothes, no body armor, no helmets, no nothing, standing behind those little bicycle stand fences, completely unprepared. So that's question number one. Question number two, of course, is by about 1:30, when it was really clear that the Capitol was going to be overrun, how in the world did it take 3 hours? Wolf, I think to myself, because I was in the chamber that day, thank God it was a disorganized mob. And yes, there were people there who were probably armed. There were people who were intent on doing very violent things. But this was not a trained group of assailants. If this had been 50 terrorists, let's just say that somehow ISIS managed to get, 50 trained, hardened terrorists who understood tactical formations and were heavily armed. Under those circumstances, we would have had hundreds of people dead, and it would take 3 hours to move significant security into the Capitol. That's obviously just not acceptable, and we need to really understand why that's true and make sure that it never happens again.
It's hard to believe this could have happened right here in the nation's capital in the United States of America. Representative Himes, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck to you and all your colleagues. Tomorrow, we'll watch all of this, obviously, very closely. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Will.